Hello everyone, welcome to our next lecture. In previous lecture we have discussed this form and different attributes like action, method and target. Now what we are going to do, we'll discuss some input elements of HTML in this lecture. You have seen that in previous lecture we have discussed about type text, email, radio and submit. Now I'm going to remove all these and we'll discuss some other fields. So let's start with it. The ones we have discussed already are: one is type text, second is email, third is radio, fourth is submit. There are more elements that I am going to discuss in this tutorial. So one of them is button, checkbox. There is some difference between radio and checkbox which I am going to discuss in this tutorial. Then there is input field for date, and there are some other like color, hidden, file. I will show you these and code them in this tutorial. Other than this, there are some other fields like password, number, and similar one is range. There is another one, reset. There are some other fields also, but I will discuss these in this lecture. So let's come to here, and I will start one by one. You can see here. So let's start with checkbox. And you can give some name, as we have discussed yesterday that we need a name attribute for sending some variables. Maybe it could be subject 1. You need to choose some subjects. For those I am writing this, and then there should be some value to it, which could be like HTML. Then you should provide a new line here, copy it, make this JavaScript, or maybe you could change it to Python, checkbox and subject 2. Let us try to run this program. You can see here. So in case of radio, we can choose only one, but in case of checkbox we can select both of these, right, like this, and try to submit. You can see here subject 1 equal to on, subject 2 equal to on, submit. We need to put some value here so that we don't get this on and off thing. And another is JS. Now again try to submit this. You can see subject 1 equal to Python and subject 2 equal to JS. What will happen if you select only one of them? In that case, see this, subject 1 equal to Python, only that is submitted now, right? And you can give one message above, which could be its subject you like, right? Or maybe one break. In this way there is an option for user. You can remove break from here, and then you can select one of these. Similarly, one thing that I want to include in text type, that is placeholder. And in placeholder you can pass some message like enter username and then name equal to username. And as we are using label in previous tutorial, we can write like this also. Give a break here, and you can see enter username. You are getting a message. As soon as you start entering, that disappears, and when the text is removed, everything comes back. There is one more thing. In case of this checkbox, you can use one more attribute, that is checked. So this will be the by default which will be checked. I should remove this one from here. You can see Python is by default checked. Also you can use one more attribute which becomes by default value of a field. So in this case I want to enter Deepak as by default value, and you can see Deepak is by default, right? Let's see some more things. Input type, and I want to put date here. Name equal to date. You can see here is the field. You can select any date and you will get it here. So there are more. Select color. How do you do that? Input type color. You want to give any name, then it's fine. You can give name to it. Color. Keep refreshing and see the way you can choose the color from here. You have chosen this color. You can choose the date like 22, and now submit, and you can see here is the color code. If you change the method, I think that will be better. If you change the method here, go to the network, try to change method here so that we don't need to clean it every time. And now see headers. Okay, I will put this date, choose a color and submit it first. Now see, subject one is Python, username is Deepak, and color is this. So we are sending the code here. There are more things. What are those? Choose a file. In this case you have to use an input element whose type is file. You can write name as file. So you can choose any file from here. Maybe I can take this text file and select it. Choose the date, choose both the subjects, submit, and try to see if there is something there. And you can see we are sending the file as a name here. Now let's try few more things. You can choose input type reset, and what it does, it reset everything. I think you don't need name in this case. Let us try it. You can see the values are filled. I will press reset and see it has cleared, but I don't think it had cleared everything. It should clear everything. Okay, first let us remove values from here. Remove checked and remove the value Deepak from here. Now we'll try to see if this works in this way. Reset, and you can see, right, everything is clear. Let's see some of these. One of the important input type is password, that you need multiple times when you are creating a form, which write a login like a login form which takes username and password from user. Try to refresh it, see the password, and whenever you enter something it's not visible. So that's the nature of password. Take some more examples. You want to select a number, so input type for that should be a number. For that we have some attribute like max. If you want to give some maximum value, or we are allowing only these values, so maximum is 20 and minimum is 0. There is another attribute which is step. Maybe you want to give a step of 5 or 4, so the first value will be 0, then another will be 4 and 8 and so on. Provide a name which is number. You can also provide some value here, maybe that is 0 in this case. Let us try to refresh it. You can see the default value is 0. If you want to create some another value, maybe -1, you want to enter some another value -1 and try to click submit, it will provide a message that value should be greater than or equal to 0. Try to provide 21 and it will pass a message that value should be equal to or less than 20. Similarly, try to pass some another value, maybe 15. Please enter a valid value. The two nearest valid values are 12 and 16. So this is done by this step attribute, because we can't uh, add any other value. So let's click this arrow here, arrow over here, 4, then 8, 12, 16 and 20. There is no other value than these, right? Let us try some another one. Here we have used number. There is a similar field which is range, and in that one we need to use a type called range. For that you can also give it some maximum value, minimum value as per your wish, step, then name. Maybe I want to give it a value or name a range, and then a br. Try to refresh it and I will show you the value. It is 0 at this point because we have minimum 0. This is 20, and between it there are multiple steps of 4. So one value is 0, second should be 4, it should be 8, 12, 16 and 20. So let us try it. Try to submit the number, try to submit the range. This should be 4, this should be 8, and we'll see if it is value that we have entered or not. So try to clear it, and you can see number is 0, which is right here, and the range is 8. and all other values are 0. You can also add one field. You can see that values are empty here. So in case of username, if you want user to put some value and not leave it blank, you can use required. Try to refresh it, try to submit. Please fill in this field. That means this required attribute is making sure that you don't leave a value blank, right? Let's see if you have some other things left. So we have covered almost everything. Hidden is left. So what is hidden field? Sometimes we need hidden field for some purposes which we will use in future, but as of now you can just see that there is some hidden field, and you can provide some values to this, and name is like hidden. Put value equal to something, maybe 30. Try to refresh it. You can see hidden field and submit it. Username, maybe I want to enter, then submit, and see hidden is 30, right? But you are not able to see that field, and in case of hidden field we generally don't provide this thing, because that will defeat our purpose of making that field as hidden. Now see, there is no hidden field, but when we submit something or we submit the form, hidden field will be there, right? So in this lecture we have discussed all these elements and how to use these elements in form. I think this is enough for this lecture. If you have any doubt or if you have any query, please put it in the comments, or you can write me a mail. I will surely respond back. Yeah. Thank you so much.